and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and I'm going to be using some of my collage boards. Some people call them master boards. I'm just going to call them collage boards. I think it just makes a little bit more sense. It's a little less confusing to people. I've been using, well, this one I just used sketch paper, but mostly I've been using the information from my son's medications and my medications. This one might be mine. And just gluing my scraps on one side, which gives me like nice big pieces. So if I wanted to make like a big journal, these pages would be great in like a big journal. Am I holding them there long enough? So some of these you can see I kind of went with a color. Some I'm a little bit more random. It depended what my mood was at the time that I was making it, because I had a lot of scraps to just kind of use up. So these ones are a little more manageable. They'll fit in my big cutter. There are some here that are larger, and really it's easier to actually even glue the stuff on this size. This size is definitely easier. So I think next time I'll probably cut the bigger pieces down to begin with to a more manageable size, because this size it's a little hard to do on my desk. It doesn't even fit on my desk, and I have to cut that down to cut it anyway. So yeah, and so this one is which one is, oh, this one says Dexcom. No, it's not. This one's my Ozempic. Ha! Now you know what medication's wrong. This one says Dexcom, I think. Oh, and this one is actually, I painted on the back. I used it as a brayer sheet on the back. And that's another idea with your medical informational stuff. It doesn't have any personal information on it. It's just, you know, side effects. This is how you use it. All the different languages and how to use it sometimes. So, let's see. This one is in colors I'm not as likely to use together. So this is the one I'm going to work on today. I'm just going to blind cut it, and that just means I'm going to turn it upside down and cut it into more manageable pieces. And it just will go a little bit faster if I work on them in larger pieces and then cut them down. That's basically, at least as far as the background part. So, like I said, the next step will be adding some gesso. Now, if you buy gesso and you buy a big one like this, it could last you years, even if you use it quite a bit. Now, I've had a couple other gessos that I've purchased, but this one is still about a third full, and I've had it since 2019. So, even if you think you're going to work a lot with gesso, you don't necessarily need one that big. Just saying. Because I'm not sure, you know, it's starting to get a little bit on the thick side too. So I think if you buy a smaller one and see how you like it, I don't think the brand matters too much, because gesso, oh, what is gesso? Some people ask me, what is gesso? It's a primer. But it's more chalky than paint. It is acrylic. Let's see, does it say anything? A thick white primer that seals, stiffens, and provides surface tooth for painting surfaces for use with acrylic, oil, case and temper, and other paint media. So like when you see the already primed or gessoed canvases in the store, that's what they mean. That was, they were primed with gesso. I don't know how they get it on there so perfectly and thin, but they do. They probably spray it on or something. I don't know. All right, I want a little bit And because this is a water-soluble ink back here, I will get a little bit of pink showing through. And the other thing is, when you use gesso, it's going to take mediums differently than the paper in the background. So I don't usually try to get it covered, complete coverage. I'm usually just kind of trying to, like, maybe I'm just trying to, like, kind of just take away the severity of the lines, just kind of blend those lines in a little bit. Sometimes what I might do. Sometimes there's a lot of lines, so I might just go ahead and use one of these, or a palette knife. Actually, I really like using a palette knife too. And then I might, you know, get a bunch, put it right in my thing of paint, because that's something that usually happens. But not getting it on there perfect. That we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking to push the background back a little bit. And if you don't have gesso, you can use a chalk paint or even just white acrylic paint. Just do a really thin layer. Don't do it perfectly. Get some texture in there. Have it be a little thicker in some spots than other. There's water soluble ink up here, or there's the ink from the, you know, this is water soluble ink. I think that's what's causing this to be pink. So I'm actually bringing some of the pink down here when I do that. And then if I don't want it on the next card, I just wipe that off. If I use a palette, oh, you could also use a brayer. You could get just a little, push it into the background. It gives it a little bit of texture there too. We're just pushing it into the background, because all these, while we love the scrap pieces we used, they have to be the background. Sometimes though, I keep it just full on, because sometimes I like all that background to show, and sometimes I will push it back, push it way back, because you just do. So let's see, brayering, you could use your fingers, you could use a brush, and you know, like I was using the card, a palette knife is probably one of my favorite things to use. But yeah, the brayer, so I might even come in with some other colors with the brayer too. Let me grab my palette knife. Alright, so palette knife, just kind of, you can get a little bit thicker lines with it if that's what you're looking for. Which for this one would definitely be in a grungy journal, just because it's, or even a steampunk journal, because it's got the copper, some denim. It's just, you know, kind of fun. Alright, so just really textural and fun with that piece. Let me do, like I said, palette is probably one of my, oh, and if this starts to come loose, well, gesso and acrylic paint have like a glue property to it, so the gesso will help it stick down. It comes in different sizes. I was just like, I'm going to do mixed media. I'm going to buy a big thing of gesso, because Marami Small Art is where I learned a lot of my original. That's what I watched originally when I was just learning how to do mixed media, was Marami at Martha at Marami Small Art. And you know, she said get the gesso, so I did. I got the clear gesso, the black gesso. I got all the gessos, because I was just enthralled by her. I don't know if she hasn't had many videos lately, but you know, life. She has small children. Small children take time and effort. So does running a company and doing videos. It all takes a lot of effort. So totally understand there not being as many videos from her as there was originally. But I am really glad that when I was looking into mixed media, that she did have a lot of videos. Another thing you could do is an old grody brush, or you know, one of these cheap brushes where the bristles are not so great, and so you put some on, you take some off. I still have quite a bit on there, and you could dry brush it on there. Go one direction, both directions, whatever you like, and then that leaves kind of a, like little striations, little lines that look kind of cool, and pushes it into the background a little bit. I know some of you are probably like, I don't see much difference. There's a difference. You're just gonna have to trust me on that. I got way too much on there. You're just gonna have to trust me that it's making a difference. Some of you are like, oh yeah, I could totally see it's pushing it back. And then some of you are probably like wondering, well, why are you just covering it up? Well, go watch my other video. I'll try to remember to link that below, where I show different backgrounds and, you know, something with no background again, so that you can kind of see, you know, maybe you do like it just plain in the background, but adding stuff in the way background like this, it gives it more interest and depth. Because, you know, you might not see these things really clearly at the end, but they'll be showing just enough that you'd be like, ooh, what is back there? How did she do that? You know, and anything where you could be like, ooh, how did she do that? Or how did he do that? You know, if you're a guy, or, you know, whatever. All right, so this is a, oh shoot, somebody say what it's called. It's just a something, I don't know. It's Jackie Bernardi uses them a lot. I'll link her channel. I try to link people's channels if I remember that I mentioned. Jackie Bernardi is a mixed media artist. She is really excited about the stuff she does. I don't know how she does her setup, but she's got like a bunch of different cameras and does a lot of editing. That's not me. My main editing is pressing the pause button. But she was using these. I have them in 3 sizes. This is just the one that was in my line of sight. And so that can give you some different effects too. See where it kind of is thicker in some spots than other, depending on how you do it. And the more I lay it down to do it, the more variation, you know, I get some like thicker textures and whatnot. So there's that. And you could also just use a regular brush. This is just an angled something brush. Does it say on here? No, it's a number 12. Oh wait, level angular, just an angular, number 12 angular brush. And well, see, this one doesn't really need a lot, except for if I want to just kind of push that color back a little bit. Maybe it's a little bright. This is a really long brush though, so it's probably gonna mess with my focus. But, you know, allows me just to put kind of an even thin coat on there if that's what you're looking for. Let's do one on one that has different colors, because then I can kind of focus on my edges and kind of blurring the lines there a little bit. And then I'm just kind of taking the brush and doing like that. It's not recommended to use brushes in that way. But, you know, when you do mixed media, you do terrible things with your brushes. And then if you didn't want to have to cover the backs of these with paper, you could just do a couple layers of paint or gesso. I could even just take them on the gel plate print. Oh, and that's another way if you wanted to add, you know, change the, yep, let me grab my gel plate print real quick. And I'm going to just put a glaze over a couple of these. When you're doing a glaze, you're using a semi-transparent or transparent paint to cover. This is green hue. It's pretty dark, but it should be fairly transparent. And I'm going to do a really thin layer, and it'll also pick up some of the stuff that's on here. And alright, now remember they're glued on there, so be careful pulling them up. Oops. Alright, this did not work. See, okay, some papers work better on the gel plate than others. So that's what that did on that one. Let's see if we can get this one off without ripping it apart. That one. Green might not have been the best color for that. Oh, I do like how it kind of filled in where there wasn't any color on that one. And this one had the really bright colors. And some fragile book page. Maybe not use ones that have fragile book page. So it's a lot more greener here. It definitely browned that out some. We still have a little of that bright pink showing. Let's try it with another color. Let's see. Quinacridone and violet, maybe? I know I have other colors there, but all my dark colors are what are showing in front of my face. It will brown out a little bit because the green on there, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Ooh, and then sometimes these, you know, thinner paints will kind of separate a little bit. Oh, it was. Now it's not. So I'm going to do this one again because I don't love it. This one too. I'm going to also put down. And maybe that one, partway down, just kind of a. And then these are acrylic paints, and so they will, if I put gesso over this or any other paint over this, it won't show. Alright, see, I like that better now. It kind of goes that way because the words go that way. It just adds nice grunginess to it, I guess. Careful, 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 careful. I mean, if you wanted to make them shiny, you could. Alright, I like that that did not pick up perfectly. So we still have some of that lighter background showing and some of the green showing. I actually really like how that one came out. Let's see how this one did. I know I was taking a chance. Yep, I do. A little bit of the blue still showing through there. Covered up the bright pink. Oh no, this one has the bright pink. Covered up the orangey. But there's still a little bit of something showing through there, which is cool. And that one I like better now too. It did cover up the bright pink, toned it down. And we still, you know, and this and the orange together is fine. And then that, yeah, it just gave it a lot more interest than there. That was all of them. Okay, next layer. Oh, except this one. Oh, I did do some gesso on this one. I think I might do a little bit of this. I kind of don't want it to be perfect though, so I might do this and then I don't have any textures right on me, do I? Oh, I do have. Just use this. Just take our paint palette and kind of do that on there, and maybe a little bit on this one too. These are fairly thin. They're only 2 layers of paper, so because I haven't backed them to be ephemera yet. So we'll do that, because what if I want them to be a page in a journal? Maybe I'm making a little journal. See, that's cool, and that's cool. I really like that. So this is one way to add more texture to your layers, as well as just even mark making with paint. Let's see. Hold on, I've got this. And I would even come back in on some of these that I did that other paint on and add some more, a little more gesso here and there. It just adds a little bit more. Oof, it's a little limp. So just kind of, oh, this one could use some brighten it up. It's just really dark. So just a little bit of dry brushing on there, changed it up a little bit. This one too could use a little dry brushing. And then with the textures in the background, it picks up different in different areas, and also all those pieces add texture in the background, which is fun and cool. Okay, for this next layer, I want to add a little bit of grunge that will kind of be in the background. So I've got this thing that I found outside. PM Artist Studio does have a grunge stamp if you want to check that out. It's a little bit different. It's not exactly like this. My hope is that someday I will get my act together and make that a stamp. But for now, it's just a random piece that I found on my walk one day. And I don't want to use paint. I don't know why I'm getting that out. I actually want to use my ink. My permanent ink, like, oh, brown. I think I'm going to use a brown. Ooh, maybe a green. Depends on the thing. Alright, let's just pull down some of these colors. Ooh, this one is Chianti. And so, when I'm using the inks on these, it'll be all different colors because there's black ink on here to begin with, so. And I just kind of grunged my edges with it. I already did that one. Oh, I just stuck my fingers in the black paint. That's what just happened. There's your grunge right there. I mean, I could go ahead and just use that up and do, I got more here. I'm not going to do that on everything though. Alright, so I'm trying to think of where I want to use stamps and where I want to use stencils. Okay, so let's go ahead and spread this out. It's super thin, maybe a little bit thinner than I'd like, but I'm going to come in and take this one, which is I think my messy borders, and just kind of pick up in there, and that gives me some nice mark making. Let's see, you can also do it like with this, and do it down here a little bit. Not even, oh, and that's where a lot of the black ink went. The black, yeah, there we go. Just gonna wipe that paint back onto the plate. This is why I almost backed them before coming back, and then I was like, no, because I'll probably make a mess. Probably? No, it's guaranteed I'll make a mess. There's no probably about it. Let's see. And also, you don't have to just use black. You can mix your colors for mark making. I like the Payne's Gray. I love the golden. Any Payne's Gray, but any Payne's Gray that has blue in it, I would probably love. It's awesomeness. All right, this is really thick, but that's okay. I'm gonna put my little rainbowy things down there. And those lines there. I'm gonna have to move. Crumbs! Just touched that with my hand. That was smart. That's got a little black on it too. Oh well. It is what it is. Just kind of get that not perfect on the side there. Oof, navy blue. Let's kind of do these on the side here. Doesn't have to be on the side. It can be in the middle, be it across, whatever. It's just mark making, and you can do it with pens and whatnot, and just use markers or acrylic pens, anything really. Or you can go to Piamoto Studio and get this stencil, and it's fun to use for mark making. I like using it for mark making. Let's figure that out. Let's see. The circles. I'm going to stick those circles right there in the middle, and because they're messy borders, but you can also use them for mark making. I don't know if she has them marked in there as mark making or not, but let's just get a couple down there too. But yeah, I'm just going to go right down sort of the center here. Maybe get a little bit of that even. There we go. Just messy in the back. Just making a mess. Oh, and then you can even just kind of pick that up a little bit there. Pick that up a little bit there. Just give some interest in the background. And also, we've got quite a bit of paint on here. So I could go ahead and find one that has... That one's pretty bright. Let's unbrighten it. Sometimes I'll say that's, but it's something. I'm going to also kind of mush it around there just to get the paint off the stencil and whatnot, and just kind of do that. It's just a nice little blue stripe. At least that didn't happen with the brown, so at least there's that. Also, brown is a good color. I'm going to use the Van Dyke brown. You don't have to use the golden paints. You can use any paint you have. I like the golden paints. That's why I use them. I could go ahead and use cheaper paints because that's what most people have. But can you guys see that? I love like the marks I got there with that. That's awesome. All right, I also have the Springing Up Borders, which has some really cool. Not sure how brown that was. All right, let's just. Oh wait, what did I just see? Oh, this right here would probably be good. And it's part of the background, so even though it's flowers and I might not use them as flowers, it's just kind of a cool design just to have on there. And then maybe even grab a little bit of the circles, which I think this is like a test one. The newer ones actually have a little swirl instead of just a circle. They're more like these centers is what that ended up as. Because, you know, you play with your things, you play with your stamps, and you're like, no, I think I would like that better this way, or whatever. Alright, these two are brighter, so I don't... got some random brown on there. Alright, this is one of my very, very favorite stencils. I'm pretty sure Brad designed it at pmartiststudio.com. And, whoops, that just got me some circles. Hold on. That was user error, just saying. Okay, press harder. And if I had gone in there with tissue, that might have been even better, but there we go. And then, take it off, and I still got some schmutz to get there. Just kind of picked it up here and there, not perfectly anywhere, but it really adds to it. Did I get anything on this? Nope, we'll just get what's left on that bit up there. What is it called? Some of you might ask what it's called. I always call it medallions. It's Oriental lattice, but in my brain it's medallions, so you know, if I actually call it the right thing, that's good. This is dark, so it kind of needs a light color. So I could use cream. I'm going to use Titan Pale Green because I can. So when you're making marks, I know a lot of people do their mark making in black and white, but there's no rules. You can use whatever colors you want for mark making. Oops. I know I covered the bird. It's alright, I have the stamp. I can make a new bird on there if I want to. Plus it's just background paper, so if I cover the things, it's okay. What was I going to use? Oh, I got the paint dashes. It's a great one for using for mark making. I'm pretty sure this one's paint dashes. Is that the one I just had? No. And also that was a little bit crooked. That's user error. Oh, here it is. This is the one right here. And you don't necessarily, so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll kind of like press down in the corners up there and press down in the corners up there. So oh, that one did cover. So it doesn't cover the whole thing, but that one pretty much got almost full coverage. Let's get something on the corners, on the edge somewhere here. And then also for making mark making, I'm going to use, I really like the Payne's Gray. I'm going to mix the Payne's Gray with a little bit of black so that it's a little bit more black. Black? I had black. Well, I kind of have a lot of Payne's Gray here. I had the black I had was like, oh, it's right here. I'm like, how can I not see it? It's giant. Oops, it's more black than Payne's Gray, but that's alright. And it's very, very thick, but that's okay. I'm just going to take this, which I get at the embroidery section, and use it as a stamp. And it just kind of gives some interest. And because my paint is so thick, it's also giving it quite a bit of texture. So that's one thing I can use. Also, let's see, any kind of, and I usually will go at least 2 places just to balance it. You don't have to do 3s of everything all the time. Because, you know, it's the focal, you know, as long as you have something of 3s somewhere along the way, it should be fine. But sometimes you might not. And sometimes you might just get some grunge on there by pressing that down like that. And just get a little bit of grunginess. And then maybe that down in the corner. Because why not? You just play and don't be afraid to try things is what I'm saying. Alright, so if I don't want it quite as soupy as that, I just take it off a little bit there. And remembering that this is when you're doing stamping and you have your papers collaged like this, your stamping is not going to come out perfect. If you want your stamping to come out perfect, you're going to want to stamp on tissue and then glue that down. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go wash this right afterwards, but let's go ahead and use this. So these stamps, whoops, that was a little mushy. I'm glad I did that first. Are great to use as mark making. The foam stamps and some paint. You just gotta come back through later. You don't have to use the whole stamp either. You could just kind of come in and use a little edge of it here and there. I don't want black on that, I don't think. This is way more black than I was anticipating. So I'm just coming in a little bit here and there, like that. Yeah, that one I do want a little bit of a, just like that. I know some people say I make this look easy, but it's just, it's not that it's, you just have to not care, and then it is easy. It's only paper. I mean, it was a bunch of scraps that might have eventually gotten thrown away, but instead of throwing them away, I glued them to paper and then, you know, made some stuff with them. And so I don't worry about how great it's going to look when it's done. I'm just like, well, some of them might look great, some of them might not. Here's the thing. It's a, the rule of thirds. I'm going to go wash this. I'll be right back. So the rule of thirds when it comes to being a creator or an artist is that, I saw a reel saying this. This is where I got it, you know. So it's fake news or it's real. I don't know. So the rule of thirds when it comes to being a creator is a third of the time you're going to love what you made. A third of the time you're going to hate what you made. And a third of the time it's going to be it's just going to be okay. So when you're creating, you're not going to have stuff be great and awesome every time. Okay, these are the smaller version of my newest stamps. You got the bigger ones too, because I like the juxtaposition of like a fancy damask with the grunge, and also I like to use like play with scale and have like maybe some big ones and some little ones and whatnot. All right, I want to use up this black paint, and I don't want to use my stamps in it, and that's what I want to do next is some stamps. So I'm just going to take this glue cover, and right, now moving on to some stamps. I've got most of my stamps I use, and stencils. I've got these stencils, which are, they come in a set of 9. I can't tell if there's any in here that aren't in this. See, you cut things and then you forget. So they come, they're at PM Artist Studio, set of 9. And then I also have stamps now. These are not, one of these stamps is like what's in the original set. This one, that one, there is a stencil for it. These ones are original ones. They actually coordinate with Botanical Grunge, which is the digital I have in my Ko-fi shop. See this. Oh, that's right. I have 2 of these now. So one of these, that's why that was over to the side. So one of these sets is going to be going in a giveaway box when I hit 5,000. So like I said, I like to mix some of the elegant of the damask with the grunge. I'm going to pick out a color in here to repeat. This color might be hard to repeat. It's the glam, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and try it. We'll just do that. See kind of how it's close enough. It's close to that color anyway. Which way does this go? I don't know. I think it doesn't matter. Put it whichever way you like it. And then I'd probably put it in, like I said, these hold a lot of ink, so you can actually get quite a few stampings from it, and that just adds to the background. It brings this color into the more of the card, more of the piece, and it covers more than one section so that it unifies the card. Let's see, this one's like really grungy. I don't know how I feel about this one, honestly. This is not one of my favorite ones. Definitely gonna need to bring some more white into it. Let's see. And I might actually end up loving like this piece. It's this color in here I don't love. So I might just do a glaze over it, actually. Because if you don't love something, set it free. So I've got the dark, so it's this peach color I want to adjust somehow. Opposite of orange is blue. But the only blues I have that are transparent are super dark. So, you know, we just might do some quinacridone nickel azo gold because, I don't know, that just makes everything better. I don't know. It'll definitely change it up. Alright, that is a lot. Well, that's okay because you covered your whole And I don't even have to use the gel plate. I could just kind of come in with it. All that did is intensify the orange, but I mean, I think I'd rather have a strong orange than a weak peachy orange, apparently. Oh yeah, I like that orange better than the other orange, so there's that. There we go. So now, I mean, fall's coming, so orange is not just for fall, people. When people are like, oh, that's got orange, I'm gonna save it for fall. Or that's got mushrooms, I'm gonna save it for fall. You know when mushrooms are out? When it's raining. You know when it rains the most? In the spring. It's not really a pet peeve, but it's kind of a pet peeve. I'm like, orange is not just for fall, mushrooms are not just for fall. Alright, I like that a lot better now. It does need to bring some brightness back to it, so I will probably do some mark making and some brighter colors on that, but I want to set that aside to dry now. I don't hate it anymore. This one also might need a little bit of a glaze, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and navy blue. Let's do the twilight is come. Ooh. No, let's bring out, we've got this orange. You know what I cannot find in a permanent? Well, I have, but it's like comes from overseas. And the Claire is the orange. So let's try the Monarch orange in the, like I said, orange is not just for, which way do these go? I don't know. It could go that, probably that. I probably designed it that way, but there's no wrong way to use it. And it's only going to be a little bit in the background there. And it's just going to bring the orange throughout the rest of the tag, basically. That's all that's going to do. So maybe you decide you like it that way. I don't know. I think I designed it that way. So that did that. And this one's got the teal, the blue, the copper. If I was willing to use paint on my stamps, I could use copper, but I think this denim blue, and got a lot of round already, but I think I'm going to use this one, which is the Celtic something. And I'm going to make sure that I bring the blue down into the copper there and down to the bottom of the tag a little bit, because why not? So I know that's super busy. The reason I'm using permanent inks is because I may come back and add another layer of gesso somewhere. I don't know. It's whatever I feel at the time. Alright, this has the Nico Azel Gold kind of orange, which might be closer to this orange blossom if I wanted to. I also have this reddish pink. See, it's got a lot of different colors on here, which is okay. They don't all go. The one color that probably goes with all of them is green, right? Because green's got the floral. What do I have for greens up here? We could bring, or we could just do brown. I could do or black. Alright, let's Shady Lane. Since I think I used Shady Lane up there, let's do that with this one maybe. This is the Semic Writing. I have no idea what, and I'm going to overlap right here. And I'm going to also do that. Let's just bring it all the way down. So that just brings a little something to the background there. This one's probably pretty much done, but I'm still going to, it just barely shows back there. What else could use some green? Green. This one could use green. It's very, also, once again, it's got a lot on there. I want to bring some green over here, I think. Does it show? Barely. Right there. Needs a little something. Like right in there. Needed something. Maybe there. And there. I don't know. I'm kind of using it like a script stamp at the moment, aren't I? Just bringing that green into those really white light spots. I mean, I'd say this one is done, because there's a lot going on, except for it needs a little bit of brightness. Oh, I'll do some splatters. That'll be the last thing I do. And then, see, this one is bright and light and fun. Doesn't need a lot. If I could bring in that bright pink again, I don't have, oh, I could totally bring that. I've got this top notch. Helps if you don't write on top of wet ink with it. and just bring some of that fluorescent pink to more of the card here. And repeating patterns is good. It makes it look more on purpose. Maybe a little bit in the middle. Kind of showing also where, oh, come over here a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, and then we also have that turquoise in there. So I think this is like a lighter version of it. This is actually really close. Maybe I want to use a darker version. Just gonna make some big circles because we can. Just mark making. Covering some of the other patterns. That's okay. It's all about the layers. It's all about the layers. And trying to make it a little bit organic. But trying not to think about it too much while thinking about it. That's what's required with this. Don't think about it too much, but think about it some. Think about it just enough. There's a happy place for thinking about what you're doing, and like maybe we want to go off the edge a little bit there and there. It's all good in the neighborhood. All right, see? It's a lot different than, it's got more going on. Let's see. I don't have to finish all these today. It's okay. Like, and this one's going to get cut down smaller. Oh, let's add some of this. This is definitely... And if you're like me, some of your favorite pieces you make are the pieces you weren't thinking about. As in, you know, they're your brayer off sheets, they're your drop papers. So that's another reason not to think about it too much. Those randomness pieces are the pieces that end up being, I mean, some of my favorite pieces, and I think sometimes for you guys too. Let's see, there's like a dark, oh, I have a dark blue. This one's like a dark navy blue. And so let's bring that into here somewhere. Let's just do little dots because those are the easiest. Because all you have to do is press it down. You just don't want to do it everywhere and make it look like it has measles. But if you're like me, you do like to, you know, overlap. I know, I can't say it enough. Overlap the layers. Have it be kind of an organic shape. Don't have it be like a square. Now, what I do is I kind of go in between, and you don't have to. And then just kind of go out here and there. Try not to worry about it too much, you know. If I don't get them exactly in between where I like them, it's okay too. But that's kind of how I do it. Like, so I have two. So I'm going to go in between those two. And then I'm going to go in between those two. And in between, kind of an equidistance if I can. But, you know, I'm not going to stress out if it does not do it how I was wanting it to do in my brain. And I try not to leave like a straight line if I can help it. We need a little something in here, don't we? Go off over here, off over here. Whoops. Oh, and then roll your pen cap in it. That's fun. I like polka dots. Polka dots are a thing I like. And then we have a lot of circles going on here, and some lines. And we also have the lines, some straight lines from the background. So it's all good. We got some good shapes on there. I probably wouldn't add a triangle, but that's just me. This one is, I think this one's perfect. I think I could, well, the words would be upside down if I went that way. I could add a focal point or leave this as it is. Either way, it would be good. I could back it now. I like that one a lot. This one, I actually even like this one a lot too. I don't even care that it's like not perfectly square. Like, this would be fun in a grungy journal, not perfectly square. Your things don't have to be perfect. This one, it needs something. I think what I want to bring in maybe is some more collage. Do I want this collage? I think I want this collage. Ooh, or this one maybe. I think I want it down here though. Oh, that goes that way. Right. So I'm just going to bring less of that. A little bit less. Just a piece of this, which is going to be a new piece. not part of what was already there, and that's okay. I'm going to use art glitter glue because there's a lot of paint and inks and, you know, gesso. You need a good strong glue if you're going to glue on gesso. I think you could use tacky glue. It's just going to take longer to dry. I like the art glitter glue because it dries fast, and especially for when you're recording videos, it is helpful to have things dry fast. If you're not recording videos and you have patience, that's not me, I don't have patience, then, you know, a tacky glue, or there's a quick dry tacky glue, which is a little bit more than regular tacky glue, but a lot less than art glitter glue, which is another option that you could use. All right, I've already lost the pin that goes in there. Hate that. I hate that about myself, that is always a thing, getting lost. I'm just going to trim these off. And yes, I realize I just covered up a lot of the background, but I think I kept the most interesting part of the background, where you have the cutouts, the negative space from where I used that paper to cut out some circles. And I don't know, I like it. Now, there's a couple ways I could go with this. I could do something like this, where I've just kind of like got things climbing up to fill the whole tag. Or I could do one big bold piece. I think I want a whiter paper. This is what was, I want white though. I am going to cut it down so that I don't have it any taller than I want it. And that's probably about as wide as I want it. I think I want to do something similar to this, but it just needs to be bigger and taller. So let's attempt it on screen where people are looking. I don't usually do this when people are looking. All right, I had a pin. And if I made that look easy, just realize that I've been drawing leaves obsessively for the last month or so. So it's practice is what it is, and it's practice that's gonna get you to be able to just create something the size you want for the space you want. Let's see. Do I want to go? I might, you know me, I don't always go straight in the middle. I don't mind covering up that little edge there, so I think I'm going to put it here. I'm just trying to decide if I want to splatter first, or I think I'll just go ahead and glue it down. I'm just going to glue it down. A few different things. There we go. Kind of grounds it a little bit more with the dark color. Since this is so dark up here, I wanted to bring a dark color down here as well. I don't know why, just because I did. Alright, this, I feel like this is the bottom. Don't know why, I just do. And I was talking about mushrooms. What if we just, actually we can cut that off right there, and, or bring him over. Yeah, I think I like that. And then we'll cut this off here to be like a journal card. And we're just gonna tear it because journal cards don't have to be perfect. And I have the orange over here, so I'm gonna move him over. Well, there's orange up there too, so yeah, that'll be fine right there. So we have that orange there, that orange there, and that orange there, which kind of gives us, you know, three points of origin. 3 points of orange. I was trying not to say origin, and then I said origin. Oh, my brain sometimes. These are not in a kit yet. These are images that I've licensed and I play with, but I haven't actually done anything with yet. Yes, these are upside down. Do we care? No, we don't. We're going to be fine with it. All right, I inked the edges with coffee. The Ranger Archival coffee is one of my favorites, but I want to kind of, it just feels blank over here. It's not necessarily, it just felt a little bit blank over there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that grunge on there. And I'm thinking maybe a like one of these type stamps from Tim Holtz, because why not? Maybe in, I think this is Payne's Gray up here, so we'll do the Twilight and just kind of connect So what I'm doing there is I'm connecting this square with that circle so it doesn't look like it's an orphan. We don't want orphans on our card. So now we have 1, 2, 3 circles, well, 4 circles, 5 circles. There we go. Odd number of circles now. That'll make P happy. So there's 2 pieces done. I will probably add. Some people love splatter, some people don't. I'm a splatter girl. I should probably point out that this paper here came from one of my books where I do all the mark making and painting, and it came from one of these. Now Carrie the Crafter also makes these types of books. Some of these are painted, some of these are just mark making, some are inks. He takes the covers off, which I think is brilliant, and the thicker book he breaks down into smaller pieces, which I also think is brilliant. If I watch this back and remember, I will link his, I'll definitely link his channel and link the video where he was talking about that most recently. Alright, this one is a lot brighter. I think I usually like the darker colors at the bottom. Not sure how I feel about this little lavendery. It's more gray lavender than the pink down here, but it's okay. If we bring that down a little bit, maybe. Yeah. All right, there's this thing about hickory smoke that it tends to go with whatever you put it on, but also maybe it will. Just gonna see about inkering it. I'm gonna inker it now. Ink it with the hickory smoke. And see if that kind of, see, the hickory smoke almost looks like that color. It's the hickory smoke is like magic. It just kind of picks up colors, I think. This just for like a tiny. See, it's got some stuff happening in there. So, I don't know, it's super busy. Maybe this is one we want to, well, putting a focal point on it, like if I did one of those flowers again. Oh, by the way, Susan, I found it. Just found both of them. So, I mean, yeah. So, yep, Susan's getting one of those. Because she won that one and I had lost it for a minute and then I found it. Alright, it's super busy, so we want to go simple on here. So, could do a quote. Add that somewhere on there, which will cover up some of it. So, and then maybe, I wonder if I could do a thing that would kind of go around it. Like, alright, well... Alright, so if I come around like that, let me find another white piece of paper. You guys want to see me draw again? I can't make any promises. Also, I don't know exactly what style I want to draw. Just feels really stark. I did ink this, which helped a little bit, but I think this one, I think I want to at least color the leaves. In the moment of truth, I don't know. I mean, it works with this, but not necessarily with all of the bright colors in the background. But you know, might be okay. This is supposed to turn like that, isn't it? It's not turning like I want. Well, now that I got it wet, that's why. You know what? I'm just gonna go with it. I am going to go ahead and put it on there. I'm going to leave that white and glue it down and when we splatter it later, that may be the final touch it needed. Now granted, a muted purple with a fluorescent pink and a bright turquoisey aqua color are not traditional color combinations. But it is just the 3 colors, which helps. If there were a lot more colors, it probably would just be way too much. But I think it kind of works. It's a little clashy, and you know me, sometimes I like a little clashy. So it's alright. We are getting to be an hour. So I am going to maybe do a couple off camera so that I can splatter them all at once, and then you can see what they look like. But I think you get the main idea of the process that I use for this. Alright, I'm taking another paper from my book, and I'm going to do the leaves on this and then cut it out. And then I have an idea for this one. So if you cut it out carefully, you can potentially come back in and put this around here so that those show. And then I can come back in and somehow draw the lines for the leaves in. It's an idea. Normally what I will do when I ink is I will just water down some acrylics, but today I'm kind of more in the mood to use my inks. So I've got some iridescent rich bronze. I'm going to use a little bit of that on some of these. So I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to water these down a little bit too, because that's a little bit on the thick side. And then I have this bleed proof white, which I'm going to try to use and not make a mess with. It's all, you know, it's very thick. Okay. It needs to be stirred apparently. I've not used it yet. I bought it and then I haven't used it. So I've seen people use it basically like on a top layer. So I guess like especially if they're trying to get like a highlight around a border, around an image or something, I think is basically what I've seen. So let's just go ahead and get some of that in there, and I will also water that down a little bit. I usually use more white than anything, so, and I'm hoping that, you know, being bleed proof means it's going to be nice and bright on top. And then I've got black, but I'm also going to add a little bit of muted gray so it's not like quite as dark maybe. So this is a muted gray. It's kind of more like a purpley, but I'm going to add that to the black and see how we do. And then water those, put a little bit of water in each of those. I'll put that in my water. Water would be nice. How much water? It doesn't matter, just so that I have it so it's more liquidy. This one seems to be the thickest one, so. And then for the black, I generally want to use a toothbrush because I want really tiny little, I want my splatters to be tiny. And you know, these holes are just not, these circles are not quite big enough. Okay, so always test it off to the side. So with the black, I want tiny splatters. I want them just here and there. I don't want them all over. I usually just do a little here, a little there, just to, sometimes you get bigger splatters, it's okay. Here, on the other hand, let's see, I want some a little bit down here. I am going to kind of cover the Alright, this one I really like because this almost looks like an abstract art piece in there, and then we've got this color repeated from up there and the paint in the number 3. I think we all know why there's a number 3, don't we, Patricia? Number 3 is for Patricia. If you know, you know. This one doesn't have a focal point on it yet. It's probably going to be a belly band somewhere. I went a little heavier with the black on that one. So I'm going to finish doing the black, and then I'm going to move to the metallic and the white. The metallic also, I would use a toothbrush because I want smaller splatters. Where the white, I kind of would probably do a brush because I like the white splatters to be a little bit more dominant. So yeah, there's that. But this is just more of, look, there's a little bit of grunge on there. It's not an all over thing that I do with the black. I learned that from somebody else. I don't remember who. And if you look at digitals where they have a little bit of black splatter, you'll notice, oh, I did get a little bit on him. Whoops, oh well. Well, now he's got tears, little black tears. You'll notice that they don't do an all over black splatter. It's more of a here and there kind of a selectiveness to it. So when you're doing your own things, you know, think about that. If you want, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. I mean, it's your art. You do you. Now, when I'm doing white, I do like a little bit bigger splatter. Not hugely bigger, just a little bit. And I do a little bit more all over. I do that with a small brush. Smaller's not always better. Like this one's smaller. Well, maybe it's better. I don't know. So the smaller brush you have, the smaller, not, well, hopefully, because it holds less. But that was going to take too long. So I've got this one, which is kind of this size. And of course, if I don't want it to get on, see why it's more fun to do it when it's just the background, because then you can just do that. But like here, I might want to, oop, that was a lot. I covered that part a little, although it wouldn't matter because I also got like grungy on there from earlier. But that's alright. It's alright. Everything's alright. Alright. Oh, that black got on there and it smudged a little bit. We're not going to worry too much about that. We're just going to get a little bit of splatter on here. Oops. It's way more splatter than I was thinking about, but that's okay. There's no wrong way to do it. It's all going to look good in the... Oh, I am going to cover his face at the very least. That got... It brightens it up. I don't know. More if it's a background, I'm happy to do an all over splatter because I know some of it's going to get covered. You know, all over like that. Not like it's covered in white all over. To the metallic, because the metallic is just fun. I need to go back to the ones that are mostly dry though, because you have to stir the metallic every time. Now obviously some black got in my white, some white got in my metallic. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Now these background ones, I can just have it be as much and as globby as I like. Gold is also nice. I don't know why I picked the bronze. I just did. I'm not sure that the white's quite. And what I will probably do is where there is no white is where I'm more likely to add some of the... I don't think I like this. Let's see, is this one any better? It's all the same size, so probably not. Although it's got a little bit more... Now, let's go back to the one I was using for the white. I liked that one. That one or a brush. Yeah, it's got a little more white on there still. Where is that? I had a second brush. Oh, this is the second brush. All right, let's try that. That's there. Yep, we'll use the toothbrush. Oh my goodness. Like, toothbrush is so hard. Whoops. Now, I don't mind getting the metallic on some of the picture sometimes. Whoops, that was way too much. Fortunately, that one didn't. I might have got too much water in here now. But, you know, well, there we go. We're just getting splurges. Big ink spots with this. Alright, not liking that. This one's long, but let's try it and see how it does. Oh, that actually does fine. Alright, a little bit of metallic on here. Oh, too much, too much. Maybe it's too much, maybe it's not. I don't know. When it's wet, it looks like too much. Like I said, I might have got too much ink in my, too much water in my, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That one's already done. There we go. I do want this one to be on the leaves a little bit. And I'm turning it. So yeah, that's how I splatter. The splattering is fun to watch. And then you get like a closer look at the things too. Like, I don't know. We had 2 big sheets of paper that we started with, and we got quite a bit done, which is a good thing because it's a long video. It is really busy in the background, but I'm okay with that. And this is just a background, and this one is a background. That one, I didn't love how this looked on the paper, but after I cut it out, it looked a lot better. It's like the magic of you cut it out, it looks better. I don't know why. That one, it barely shows up. I could outline it with like a, actually I might go back in with like a metallic to outline the leaves and stuff so they pop out a little bit more. And then he could be like a side pocket or something, or a tag journal card. I gotta back them all still. This will probably be a belly band maybe, or cut it down into 2 tags. He looked really good on this dark background that we ended up with. And that I really liked on there. Used the book page to draw the flowers. There's another background. These are still drying. Putting them on top of each other is not too smart. Another background. Finished one. I mean, I might add some stamping or labels or I don't know, just anything. Sentiments, whatever. Whenever I have a journal that they go in, or if somebody gets them and wants to add to them, they can. Because sometimes I do send these out in either Happy Mail or, you know, I could put them in my shop, some of them. You never know. This one's my favorite. That was the one I was originally going to do that kind of a thing, and then it ended up being on this one, and I just really like how that came out. And then there's that one, and that one. Did I show this one already? I think I did, and then just put it over the side. And this one, and let me look around real quick, because almost always I find one after the fact. Oh, and this one. And that's all of them. I hope you all have a delightful day. I hope you had fun. I hope you played along. I hope you try it. And I'll do another video soon where I actually do all this kinds of stuff on the big piece and then cut it down, because that's another fun way to do it. And you get more random marks, which is really cool. So I hope you all have a delightful day. Love you.